Hey guys, this is Matt in Exile, and as you can see, I'm using a different camera setup. I'm trying it out on this video, and I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on abortion. I know not everybody's going to agree with me. I know not everybody is going to see it the way I do. Now, first thing, I'm against abortion. But I do have sympathy for these young girls that get pregnant from 12 years old all the way to 16. I get it. You're too young to be having children. I understand that. And I understand the parents believing the best thing to do is to have an abortion. I get that. But you know what? That's what adoption services are for. In order to find a home for those kids. Because the fact is, kids are having kids. They have no business raising kids. And so the adoption services can find parents that'll take care of those kids and give them a good home. That's why we have adoption services. But a lot of people's first inkling is to go and get an abortion. And I think that's a wrong mindset. The first inkling should be, let's try to make the mother as comfortable as possible while she's carrying the baby. And then after she has the baby, find a good home for that baby. That should be the first thought from everybody. But instead, everybody wants the easy way out, and that is to kill the baby. The other thing is, I think is an issue, is people think one of the, a couple of the things that should allow an abortion is incest and rape. Alright, both those particular subjects are horrible. Horrible to happen to you. But it's not that child's fault that that happened. And it's not the mother's fault either. It's the pig that made that happen. It's his fault. And he should be punished, not the child. The child don't deserve the death penalty for what the father of that child did. And another example of why we have adoption services. In order to find good parents for these kids. Now, the other thing is, my thought is, how far are Democrats willing to go on this when it comes to abortion? Because we already see that they're willing to go to 9 months. All the way to time of birth. Even partial birth abortions in some states. And there's some states, like California and New York, they're talking about going a month, 2 months after birth. How can anyone not see an issue with this? There's extreme issue with that. First thing, that child has body autonomy. Because no matter what, every time you talk to these people about abortion, they said that it's that one's body, she has body autonomy. Okay. With that argument, how can she say, hey, I don't want that baby anymore, go ahead and kill it after 2 months after it's been born? Because that baby can live without that mother at that point. It's insane to me. But my question also to the Democrats are, okay, we have these tests to find out if kids have Down syndrome. Because I remember when I was a kid, I don't know about you guys, when I was a kid, we had a Down syndrome kid in every class that I was in. So 9th grade, Down syndrome kid, 1. 10th grade, same thing. 11th grade, same thing. Even in my younger years, we did. Now you hardly see them. And it's because they can test for Down syndrome. Which is fine. But when they test, it's about the 2nd trimester. By that time, a lot of babies can live outside the mother's womb. But they still do abortions even at that time. And when they find out that the child has Down syndrome. My question for you guys is, what if they had the ability to find out someone has autism, or dyslexia, or ADD, or some kind of other mental genetic issue? What would they do? Would they abort that baby? I think they probably would. Because a lot of parents nowadays, especially younger generation, they want to have an easy life. They don't want to have any complications. So The easiest thing to do if you're going to have a child that has autism, dyslexia, or some other kind of mental genetic issue is to terminate the pregnancy. My thing is, there is a lot of people out there with autism, dyslexia, and so on and so forth that have lived out their lives as normal as me and you are. Now, I'm dyslexic. And the reason it concerns me is because I see how they react to people with Down syndrome and other genetic issues that they figure out before and they terminate the pregnancy. You know what we call that back in the 1910s and 20s? Eugenics. And the fact is, that's what the Democrats are advocating right now with this abortion policy, is eugenics. They're trying to create, in my opinion, a perfect human being where there's no genetic issues. Well, the fact is, there's always going to be some kind of genetic issue throughout life. You know, I also, not only do I have dyslexia, I also have an autoimmune disease. What they had the ability to check for people with autoimmune diseases. There's a lot of people out there who would never been born then at that point. Jordan Peterson's a perfect example of that. Does he seem like he doesn't deserve to, you know, be a normal human being and being alive? No. He's a pretty smart individual, and he is someone that actually inspires me to go out there and do my research on things and look into things because of how diligent he is in his research. So, with the end of this video, I think we need to watch what the Democrats want to do. Because, in my opinion, at some point or another, Roe versus Wade will be back in the United States. Because, you know, you're going to see in certain states keep on going. The federal government will find ways to get people to these states so they can get an abortion. Companies will also do that as well. Now, the reason the companies are doing it is because of financial benefits. It doesn't have anything to do with them being for abortion or not. Because the fact is, it saves them money if they send their employees to go and get an abortion. Because at that point, they don't have to pay for leave, maternity leave for the mother. They also don't have to pay for an extra person to be on the health insurance. Now, some companies pay 100% of the health insurance. Some companies also will also pay 50% of the health insurance. It depends, but it saves them money in the long run, and that's the reason they're for doing it. So it'll be cheaper for them to give you the money to go and travel to another state so you can get an abortion. That, in my opinion, if I was a business owner, is wrong. But they're looking at it as something that's cutting their expenses, and that's the reason they're willing to do that. Now, you're not going to see any of these companies do that for like cancer treatment. If the best place for them to go is Washington State to go and get cancer treatment, you're not going to see a company in Florida pay for travel expenses for them to go do that. No, because it's not going to make them any kind of money. So why would they do that? But they will do that for abortion. People need to ask that question. Why are you willing to for this, but not for this? But of course, Democrats are too stupid to realize what's going on there, that these companies are trying to save themselves money in the long run. But guys, this is all just my opinion. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Please hit like and subscribe. It helps the channel grow.